Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sarabjit Kaur Saran, teaching at Mata Sundari College in the Department of Psychology, University of Delhi. The module name is Psychopathology and Crime. After learning this module, you will be able to understand the term psychopathology and crime, to know how the antisocial personality that leads to criminal behavior, to evaluate how substance abuse and psychological disorders they contribute to crime. Introduction. What is psychopathology and crime? It is difficult to define a crime precisely. Glenville Williams admitted that definition of crime is one of the thorny intellectual problem of law. J.W. Cecil Turner viewed that the definition of crime has always been regarded as a matter of difficulty, and the truth appears to be that no satisfactory definition has been written, and indeed it is not possible to discover a legal definition of crime. This type of difficulty arises due to the changing nature of crime. One proposed definition is that crime or offense is an act harmful to not only to the individual himself but also to the community, society or state. Such acts are forbidden and punishable by law. The notion is that acts such as rape, murder and theft are also prohibited. These type of acts exist worldwide. The state government has the power to severely restrict one's liberty for committing a crime. In India, there are procedures to which investigations and trials must adhere. If found guilty, an offender may be sentenced to a form of repression such as community sentence or, depend on the nature of their offense, to undergo imprisonment, life imprisonment or in some jurisdictions execution. Psychopathology. It is the scientific study of pathology of mind. What is psychopathology? Basically, the standard definition of psychopathology is the study of psychopathic mental condition. Samuel Eger in 2011. He has described this. It is the dysfunction of behavior. It is one of the most important area to study and understand the causation behind any crime. More research is required to know causation behind any crime or whether psychopathology points insanity as a causation. Psychosis is one of the most common mental state associated with crime. Other important factor is to understand the psychopathology and crime. Causation is to be understood. Diagnosis. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders (DSM) is the official guide for diagnosing mental disorders. You cannot label any person if you want to say. There is the diagnostic criteria you have to follow if you want to label any person as a abnormal. It's not possible to say with conviction that criminal behavior is a psychopathology, but it is equally difficult to consider that it is not. The reason for this is many attempts have been made to define psychopathology, but none is entirely satisfactory and consistent. Psychopathology places emphasis on person's experience of personal distress, stress that is from the painful events of life, that is called a personal distress, and subjective discomfort that affects in social and occupational functioning and leads him to take a professional help. If psychopathology cannot be defined, we are unable to say whether criminal behavior falls into this category. Does criminal behavior also meet the following criteria of abnormality? Statistically deviant behavior. Statistically deviant behavior is a simple way to define abnormality. If the individual's cognitive functioning is statistically impaired or diminished intellectual capacity, it is considered to reflect abnormality. Mental retardation is a disorder in which person's intelligence level is below 70. Does criminal behavior also meet this criteria? This depends upon how criminal behavior is defined and how statistically rare behavior should be counted as abnormal. Major problem with this criteria is that many types of mental disorders are not so rare as thought. Crime is a psychopathology and it applies to a small number of criminals. They have intrinsic, basically internal predisposition for criminal activity. All criminal behavior is deviant, it deviates from the normality, while not all deviant behavior is crime. Another characteristics of the abnormality is psychological suffering. So, whether the criminal behavior also meet this criteria. If the individual suffer from psychological pain or distress, he would be viewed as abnormal. People with anxiety disorder, depression clearly suffer. Psychological suffering is an important criteria to meet abnormality. Criminal behavior falls into this category, into this definition. Criminals do suffer from psychological distress, but they deny this same as any alcoholic or any other addicted does. Many criminals are not unhappy criminals. They fail to express that they are suffering from any distress, and this should not be regarded as they are free from any problem in their life. They do not experience any distress, but in reality they suffer from sufficient degree of psychological distress and stress. Research indicates that some individuals commit crime to relieve some type of psychological distress or strain. In some cases, psychological strain may push them to commit more serious criminal acts. Notable criminals, they have reported suffering from strong compulsions which led them to criminal behavior. They reported to commit crimes to get relief from tension and stress of that relationship which caused them pain in the past, and they may be angry with someone and they commit crime to take revenge. Then another criteria of abnormality is impairment in social, cognitive and occupational functioning. Does criminals, they also meet the same as the abnormal people meet this criteria? Abnormal persons, they clearly suffer from social and occupational dysfunctioning. So, criminals meet this criteria of psychological and social impairment. Research indicates that criminals often diagnosed with low IQ scores, they perform poorly on cognitive tests. Their communication deficits, learning disability and functional deficits in learning predisposes them to criminal activities. All criminals are found to be deficits in social and occupational functioning. They are characterized by behavioral and social disability. They do not follow the norms of society. Individuals who follow the norms of the society can never be labeled as abnormal. Children who do not follow social norms are prone to commit crime. Social learning theory also suggests that people may be conditioned to commit crime by the environment in which they are living. They learn criminal behavior by observing other criminals. Criminal behavior can be viewed as a conflict between criminal and the society. Mental illness would be labeled as a disorder if it is a outgrowth of biological, behavioral dysfunctions within an individual. Criminals partly meet the criteria of distress, statistical deviation, dysfunction in ideal mental health, deviation from social norms, but does not meet the criteria of seeking treatment. This would raise the possibility that criminality is a psychopathology. Recent research has indicated the strong relationship between substance abuse, personality disorders, crime, violence and psychopathology. Substance abuse. Substance abuse is also related to the misuse of psychoactive substance or drugs. People use various substances to reduce physiological pain and to alter the state of consciousness. Many people, they have tried to quit smoking, and some people, they are not able to get through the day without several drinks of alcohol and beer. Smoking, alcohol and drugs, they affect the central nervous system of the individual. It relieves their tension and give them happiness and euphoric feelings. Substance abuse is a maladaptive pattern of substance use. It brings significant impairment in the daily functioning of the individual. Repeated use of substance brings negative effect in social relationships and recurrent legal problems related to the substance. Despite these problems, their initial effects are pleasing, and these seems the root cause of substance related disorders. The individual is involved in potentially harmful behavior such as driving dangerously after having a high quantity of alcohol and is always using it despite continuous psychological, social and health problems. Substance dependence, it certainly impairs the cognitive judgment of the criminals and it increases the likelihood of violent activity. Intoxication and withdrawal from various substances such as alcohol, sedatives, cocaine and opiates increases the incidence of crime and can promote violent behavior. So, it was found that women substance abusers, they are equally violent as the men. Substance abuse is a recognized risk in violence in the mentally ill population. Substance abuse and crime, how they are related, how the substance abuse it leads to the crime. So, crime is synonymous with the abuse of alcohol and other drugs. Alcohol abuse is associated with violence. Individuals who are dependent upon alcohol show severe symptoms such as withdrawal or tolerance. The major effects of the dependence are the anxiety, depression, sleeplessness. Alcohol is a depressant, but its initial effects are stimulation. Initially, alcohol induces the belief that it will reduce tension and increase social competence. Alcohol depresses certain areas of brain. Their cognitive abilities, they are affected. Their judgment and motor coordination become impaired. Their reaction time is also slowed. They come across major road accidents and sometimes commit offense under the influence of intoxication. They become incapable to understand the nature of the act or what he is doing contrary to the law or either wrong. Cocaine users are always willing to take risk in life. They indulge in antisocial activities. Drug abuse is a potentially important determinant of crime. Research indicates strong relationship between drug abuse and crime. Most of the children under the influence of drugs commit petty crimes. Some of them do serious offenses. More than 1 million adolescents across the world are caught by the police. According to the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, Department of Psychiatry in Delhi, it found that 80% of the juvenile commit crimes such as murder, rape and under the influence of drugs, tobacco and cannabis. Consumption of opiates and heroin was found to be higher among adolescents. Consumption of psychotropic drugs was common with serious crimes like murder, rape, snatching, burglary. Drugs can have direct and indirect relationship with the crime and violence. According to the UNICEF, in 2002, they have conducted a survey and it was found that 90% of the children living on Delhi streets misuse some type of substance. The national capital of India, Delhi, with a population of over 16 million, has approximately 1 lakh street children. Substance abuse and crime is reported as a major problem with this segment of population. A study conducted by Delhi Commission for Protection of Children Rights on substance abuse by street children, it indicated that 100% of the street children involved in crime were found to drug addict and 95% of the adolescents they are staying in child care institutions were also found to be on drugs. The study also found that adolescents consume drug due to peer pressure. Studies conducted by Sridhar Gautam indicates that substance use and criminal behavior are clearly related. Drug crime correlation has been found between the use of cannabis with murder, inhalants with rape, and opiates with snatching chains and purse. Drugs impair the cognitive ability of the individual and it increases the likelihood of crime. The population of India should be sensitized about drug abuse. So, there are reports of charging children under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance (NDPS) Act 1985. The use of tobacco is always thought to be increasing among adolescents and young children. Drug prevention among juveniles should be the legal goal of national public health. The government should frame a comprehensive policy to prevent drug abuse. Personality disorders. How the personality disorders they are related to the crime. The first personality disorder that is associated with crime is psychopathy. It is associated with the increased risk for antisocial behavior, violence and crime. Psychopaths are grandiose, superficial, manipulative and dominant in interpersonal relationships. Antisocial behaviors such as poor anger control, behavior problems and juvenile delinquency lead to a diagnosis of psychopathology. Personality disorders has been recognized in the field of psychiatry as psychopathology. Our personality is accustomed to the demands of the society. We live according to the society's expectations. Personality disorders are extreme, inflexible and enduring patterns of behavior. They are unable to perform adequately their role in society which was expected from them. So, these personality traits are distressing to the person and bring significant impairment in functioning. It causes problem in school, at work, in relationships, with the family and with the friends. They seem to have no consciousness. Whatever wrong they do in life, they have not any remorse for that. They have no regret. They do not learn from their mistakes. They repeat their maladaptive and violent behavior. They cause physical damage to others as well as to themselves. Normal people in the society find their behavior unacceptable, confusing and difficult to understand. The categories of personality disorder differ significantly in severity. In the milder cases of personality disorders, they generally function normally, but their family members, friends and relatives, they regard them as troublesome, aggressive, violent and difficult to carry activities with them. Individuals of severe personality disorders, they do unethical acts which are against the society's norms. They are incarcerated in jails. Stressful and painful events of the life triggers the development of inflexible and distorted personality patterns. Personality disorders certainly increase the prevalence of criminal behavior. Psychopathic individuals, grandiosity, impulsivity, need for power, egocentricity and lack of behavior inhibition that pushes them to commit crime and antisocial acts. They appear to suffer from little personal distress and they see nothing wrong with their behavior and their attitude and go for treatment when it is only benefits them. It is difficult to obtain a confession from them. This is due to their grandiose sense of self-worth and lack of guilt. Next personality disorder that contribute to the criminal behavior is antisocial personality. Individuals with antisocial personality disorder violate the rules of society and show no respect for the rights of others. They have aggressive patterns in behavior and involved in antisocial and criminal acts. They steal others' property and display such type of behavior which is unacceptable to family, friends and society. Their behavior is impulsive. They harm others and have no remorse for their acts. They are irresponsible, liars, and they cheat others. Substance abuse is a common among them. Many of them die unnatural deaths due to suicide or accidents. Such deaths may attribute to poor self-care, drug or alcohol abuse. They frequently fight with others and become irritable, violent, aggressive, and they have no plan for the future. Genetic factors contribute to the development of antisocial behavior. Investigators they have found that whose parents are involved in cheating, stealing, criminal and antisocial activities, their children are reared apart from them in a healthy atmosphere and adopted later. Then they also became criminals. So they have the significantly higher rate of arrest, convictions and antisocial personalities. So genetic factors may present a vulnerability. They are more vulnerable genetically if you are predisposed to criminal behavior. Individuals of antisocial personality disorder have found to low level of cortisol arousal. That's why these persons are insensitive to punishment, fear, and they have a high, they are thrill seeking person, and brain structures explain any abnormalities. They scored same on neuropsychological tests as others. Although little is known about which environmental factors play a direct role in the causation of antisocial personality disorder, evidence from the adoption studies strongly explain the environmental factors that tend to make family members similar or important to the causation of this disorder. Children of antisocial personality disorder come from families with inconsistent discipline. It is not directly known that whether inconsistent discipline directly causes antisocial personality disorder, or it is conceivable that parents have genetic vulnerability to antisocial personality disorder. A factor implicated in personality disorder is the role of the stress. It was found that those who had exposed to most traumatic events were most likely to engage in violence, illegal activities, lying and using aliases. Then another antisocial personality disorder is paranoid personalities and narcissistic personalities. This also contribute to the criminal behavior. Individuals with paranoid personality disorder are suspicious of others. It is they are different from the paranoid schizophrenia. The symptoms of the schizophrenia such as hallucinations are missing in them. So there is a less impairment in social and occupational functioning as found in them. Delusions are not found in them, so their suspicious nature spoils their relationship with family members, friends and colleagues. They are very secretive. It co-occur with the schizotypical, avoidant and borderline personality disorder. So they have unwarranted doubts about the loyalty or trustworthiness of friends or associates. They are reluctant to confide in others because of the suspiciousness, or bear grudges for perceived wrong and angry reactions to be perceived as attacks on character or on reputation. Individuals of narcissistic personality disorder, they believe that they are special and unique human beings. So they have lack of empathy. They are not sensitive to other people's needs. They have no compassion for others. They are attention seekers. They do the illegal acts to grab other people's attentions. They are exploitative and had no respect for others' feelings. So they are happy when others give them attention. They are arrogant and think that they are very important. Their behavioral patterns include grandeur and a sense of self-importance, preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, belief that she is special and unique, excessive need for admiration, sense of entitlement, arrogant, naughty behavior. Research indicates that violent criminals are motivated directly by their delusions. Persons who experience persecutory delusions may attack others, believing that he is protecting himself. Mentally ill patients with paranoid delusion are twice as likely to become aggressive and violate law as compared with non-paranoid psychotic patients. Research shows that persons suffering from paranoid delusions who were identified as carrying a psychotic diagnosis but who were not actively experiencing symptoms at the time of assessment made a violent crime. Delusions were associated with an increase in violent and criminal behavior. Research studies indicates that person with suffering from Alzheimer disease exhibit violent behavior. Manic patients are also likely to commit violent acts or display aggression on public places. They they are the victims, basically their victims are the usually random individuals rather than pre-decided enemies. Mentally retarded individuals, they use violence to deal with stressors. People suffering from anxiety, depression, irritability, they display aggression and exhibit anger attacks and antisocial acts. Summary: mental illness is a disorder that affects many people across the world. It is ingrained in the society. Mental health professionals working with individuals suffering from mental illness are skeptical about these conditions and how the mental illness is the cause behind crime. So it is known to all of us that criminals, they use insanity as a defense to get away with the crime. A large number of cases of insanity defense are real. Without proper recognition of mental illness, thousands are suffering from it. Whatever the situation, many people who are suffering from mental illness are getting the help which they need to become a functional member of the society. Criminal behavior can be viewed as a conflict between the criminal and the society. Mental illness would be labeled as a disorder if it is outgrowth of a biological behavioral dysfunction within an individual. Criminals, they partly meet the criteria of distress, statistical deviation, dysfunction in ideal mental health, deviation from social norms, but doesn't meet the criteria of seeking treatment. This would raise the possibility that criminality is a psychopathology. Mental illness is a pre-existing factor that is directly responsible for criminal activity. Research indicates that criminals suffering from mental illness are unable to get the treatment of his mental disorder. As a result, he commits both violent as well as non-violent acts. Untreated symptoms of psychological disorders such as paranoid personality disorder leads to him breaking the laws. Antisocial peer neurological impairment, disorganization of thought, substance abuse and dysfunctional families increase the risk of violence and criminal acts. Majority of criminals, they are truly suffering from mental illness. They lack the capacity to understand the consequences of their behavior. So it is the duty of the criminal justice system to recognize their mental capacity and provide treatment that will increase their mental well-being. Personality disorders are basically the extremes are inflexible personality traits which causes sufficient distress. They can cause people, those who are suffering from antisocial personality disorder, they can cause harm to themselves as well as to the society. So research shows that persons suffering from paranoid delusions who were identified as carrying a psychotic diagnosis but who were not actively experiencing symptoms at the time of the assessment made a violent crime. Delusions were associated with an increase in violent and criminal behavior. Research studies indicate that persons suffering from Alzheimer's disease, they are also related to violent behavior. Manic patients, they are also likely to commit more violent acts and they commit criminal behavior. Their victims basically are usually the random individuals rather than the pre-decided enemies. So mentally retardation individuals, they use violence to deal with their stressful life situations. People suffering from anxiety, depression, irritability, they display aggression and exhibit anger attacks and antisocial acts. Thank you.